Namaste and Jai Hind. Professor Manojit Mandal, what's the problem with giving citizenship to people who are here in Bharat already, and that too almost 10 years ago, if not more?
What is the procedure? What is the procedure, Mr. Anand Narsiman? The procedure is you treat them first as Indian or refugee or persecuted, and then you give them citizenship. I think you have read the procedure laid down in these rules. And this is something that nobody can accept. The people of Assam, 12 lakhs Hindus, how are you going to convince them about the fact that they are not Indian first? Whereas most of them were Indian. I'm talking about the people who are now termed as D-voters. Forget about any other state. I would ask you and your team to go to Assam and convince the people who are languishing in the detention camps or termed as D-voters, 12 lakh Hindus, forget about the other Hindus, convince them that prove that you are persecuted. You came prior to 1971, many of them might have lost their documents, and now they need to prove themselves as persecuted. Bangladeshi, once again, they will lose their Aadhaar card, they lose their voter identity card, they lose their ration card, and then they would say that they are Bangladeshi citizens to apply for Indian citizenship. I am challenging this government through you to go to Assam and convince these 12 lakh Hindus that please apply for Indian citizenship through this law. If this happens, I will withdraw my words.
Professor Mandal, forget about CAA, whether it happens or not happens. We conducted this poll and we're going to reveal the Bengal numbers in about 5-7 minutes from now. This poll was conducted. Once again, hear me out. This poll was conducted before the notification of CAA, and the numbers, when we reveal it in about 7 or 8 minutes from now, will absolutely befuddle you, because this is something that is going to make you sit up and take notice without the CAA. Like I said, this whole survey happened in January and February when there was no question of notification of CAA. Without the notification of CAA, the numbers in itself will be so staggering that you will have to, you'll have to find some explanation for it. But anyway, we'll do another survey in March and April and figure out the impact
The
of
other
CAA.
aspect is Priyanka Tibrewal, Manojit Mandal is saying 17 lakh Hindus in detention camps, etc. The BJP largely is saying it's about 30,000 people on or before 31st of December 2014. Where is this whole conversation happening from? Priyanka Tibrewal, please answer. Manojit Mandal.
Listen, whatever Mr. Mandal is saying, everything is in the air. Whatever he is saying, nothing will turn out to be true.
Then what is the truth? Why is there so much of apprehension with CAA 2019 if there is not a big deal about it at all?
Not at all. Now it is very clear on the ground. People are happy. People are celebrating in West Bengal. See, look at the people from Bandao. Look at the people from various parts of the Matua Samaj, from various parts in Bengal. They are all celebrating. They are dancing to the tune. They are enjoying, because after so many years, that what was promised to them has come out to be true. And once again, ye Modi ki guarantee thi. Whatever Modi says, Modi does. Unlike the other Congress or the other governments which have been here, and also TMC. See, whatever TMC has said.
PM मोदी की गारंटी तो 2020 में ही पार्लियामेंट द्वारा रेटिफाई हो गई थी. So why March 2024? Nalin Mehta and Rahul Shivshankar. Why wait till March 2024? If it is only about 30,000 people, and how much of a poll impact will it make? Then why wait for such a long time?
The significant part of this has to do with politics. I mean, fundamentally, the CAA is also a political move. There is an ideological positioning behind it, which is at the core of the BJP's positioning to its core audiences. The CAA, when it, you remember the debate around the CAA that happened. There was also an issue in Assam. At that point, there was an issue about the census and all of that. So now, what the BJP is going into the election saying is, we had core promises. There was a Ram temple, we have given you a Ram temple. There was a thing, there was a whole thing of 370, we've removed 370. Uniform Civil Code was one of our other promises. There is already, with triple talaq being removed, some part of it happened. Other states are now doing a Uniform Civil Code of some kind or the other. CAA was another thing which was being talked about, and now we've delivered that.
So explain
but
this.
Rahul,
Sorry.
the whole the fundamental opposition to CAA is that it's citizenship by religion. How do you counter that?
Well, there are 2 or 3 issues. Number one, we are not talking about Indian citizens. We are talking about people who live abroad. Article 19, and this has been established by several Supreme Court orders in the past, only and expressly applies to Indian citizens. Indian citizens have the right to move freely and settle anywhere in the country. We are talking about a group of foreigners who we are bringing in. Now, I have some problems with the CAA, as I have written in my book also, but the fundamental point here is that all rights are subject to certain reasonable limitations.
Yes.
This whole business of saying, and there are 3 real oppositions to it, that, oh, you know, why this cut-off date, 2014, December 31st. So if someone comes into the country on the 30th of December, he's okay. But if someone comes in
The 1st of Jan.
Exactly. He doesn't apply for this. So this is a rather bizarre proposition. But so is that with driving. You could be 17 years, 362 days, but you won't get a driving license, would you? So there are reasonable restrictions that are applied. But the fundamental point is, it is a political move. There is no doubt about this, Zaka. The
point is, will it stand the test of law?
Right. So here is
That's
the quibble.
The question.
Here is the quibble. You can't have a situation where you might create a reasonable classification. They have been upheld, and you know, I was reading a statement, the United States saying, oh, we're expressing concern.
Yes.
They have 2 laws on their books which create the same reasonable classification with respect to Iran, where Jews and Christians are persecuted, and it applies only to those 2. I feel, if anything, there should be no cutoff.
At all.
At all. If you are wanting to protect people who are trapped there facing all sorts of hideous, tortures and persecution.
The biggest point here is...
I don't understand this December 31st, 2014 cutoff. Number one. Number 2.
Okay. Please complete.
And last point. Number 2. What has the Supreme Court been doing for 2.5 years? It's a fundamental question that you need to ask. This particular hearing on this, the next hearing was supposed to happen 2.5 years ago. Why didn't the next hearing take place?
But on that, one second. So, one second. On that, you can, to be fair to the court, you can say that a law is actuated after the rules are notified. The rules were notified, not notified.
But then
you can make the same argument against the central government. What were they doing for 4 years?
4 years,
but
they didn't do anything.
No, 1 second. But why would then the court go into this issue at all? Frame the issues, have arguments, etc.
Because a petition was moved before the court. Anyway, Nalan,
One of the whole debates on CAA, CAA does not apply to Indian Muslims. It applies to those who are coming from the outside. And the Indian state is making a distinction between, yes, it is making a distinction between Hindus who are coming in and those from other nationalities. But that's the right of the Indian state. It does not affect Indian Muslims who are in
We are
India.
missing one big point, gentlemen and the lady, and I'm going to come back to Smita Prakash on this. This is a residue of partition.
Yeah.
The residue of partition impacted 4 countries today. Partition impacted 4 countries as on today: Pakistan, Afghanistan, Bharat, and Bangladesh. Why? Because the persecuted Hindus or persecuted non-Muslims from Pakistan fled, either came towards Bharat, moved to Jammu, Punjab, and this region, or those who are on the far eastern side, the western side, they fled to Afghanistan. The Sikhs largely fled to Afghanistan, and that's why Afghanistan has been added. And this residue is on for more than 7.5 decades now. Here in eastern Pakistan, that was split into Bangladesh, and it became Bangladesh. We know the number of riots and the amount of persecution that's happened. So where do these people go?